There are things that have your back, groups of things usually. And these things I'm referring to are entities that exist not here, but elsewhere, along planes of existences that are important for their own goings-ons, okay? Or in other words, in order to make sure that your life is on track, they need to be able to manipulate your life from a specific dimension. This dimension has qualities that can alter either your perception, your decision making, the series of events that transpire within your life, the operating system behind 3D, rather systems exist in other planes. And within these other planes, therein lies spirit guides. And these spirit guides are assigned to a specific person in order to help them within life. Now here's the thing, most of the time, they are helping you. If you feel like you're stuck and you can't move, most of the time, they have done the best that they possibly can and are doing the best that they possibly can to make sure that you know what to do next, as well as to make sure that you're exactly where you need to be, no matter how uncomfortable. If it's too uncomfortable, it could very well be because for some reason you're not getting their messages. Most of the time it's because people ignore their messages, whether it be through a dream, through synchronicities, in other words, seeing double digits like 1111, 222, and 333. Other times it's just their conscience that they're ignoring. Because sometimes, yes, you can have spirit guides that can manipulate how you feel, that can stir up a conscience somewhat in you, guiding you towards the right direction. But in this society, we've gotten very good at ignoring our conscience, And so we have our society that kind of encourages us to ignore our higher levels of thinking and or any messages that are coming to us. Maybe some doubt sprinkled here and there when it comes to synchronicities. And just plain old confusion. Are we even receiving help? Where are my guides, right? Well, there's something that you can do. There's actually a couple of things that you can do in order to reach out to your spirit guides. The first thing is, if you've ever experienced your spirit guides before in any capacity, just thinking about those experiences before you go to sleep will help to spur along similar experiences throughout the night. Okay, I said again, just make sure that you can remember before you go to sleep any experiences whereby which you've experienced communication with your spirit guides before you go to sleep. This includes, your waking life, random synchronicities, as well as psychedelics. Because when you're on a psychedelic, it's easier for you to experience communication with your guides. It kind of dissolves the wall between you and them, right? Sometimes you could even see them right in front of you if you've taken ayahuasca, mushrooms, and or perhaps smoked way too much cannabis. And so, memory there is key. The second way, and it's the reason as to why you clicked on this video, is the prayer that actually allows you to reach out to them, having them contact you later within the night. Okay? So within the night, why is it that you do it at 333? Well, at 3:33 a.m., or in other words, 3 a.m., that is the witching hour, okay? The witching hour ensures that the veil between the waking world and the spirit world is razor thin, allowing for communication between us and the other things that exist on the other side. Be that ghosts, entities, as well as spirit beings, or in other words, spirit guides, right? So that is why you'd want to do it then. But knowing the witching hour is all well and good, but it's best to know how to set yourself up for that moment, right? For that moment so that you can actually experience the witching hour, because you need to be asleep at 3:33 a.m. in order to be into an altered state, which will allow you to communicate to your spirit guides. I'd advise you to do it at 3 a.m. so that you can actually go to sleep shortly after and experience that witching hour whilst being in an altered state. Because we need to set you up for an experience. And you're going to be pretty tired at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? But before you say the prayer, and I'll give it to you in a second, how are you supposed to feel? Because I noticed a long time ago, prayers don't get answered if they're shallow. Okay, you have to speak from a very genuine place. And I remember when I was a kid, I thought genuine just meant emotional, but no. Putting some emotion behind your words doesn't see to it that your prayers are answered. You could be squeezing out as much emotion as you possibly can. That doesn't work. Because when it comes to prayers, what really works is quality over quantity. All right? So I find that if I'm going to ask for guidance on anything, on any matter, whether I'm speaking to God or spirit guides, I'll actually sit there and I'll think about my problem. I'll think about that wounded space that I'm coming from, right? So it triggers a sense of authenticity. I'm not having to pretend. I'm actually stuck. And then from there, I'll feel, maybe my throat will get clogged, right? That frog, that lump in the Adam's apple. Or perhaps I'll feel restriction around my heart. I won't feel good at all. I feel like, yeah, I have an issue, a serious issue. I need to get it fixed. And so from there, I'll lay down on my bed, preferably on my back. And I advise you to do the same. It's very easy to kind of, slip out of this world when you're comfortable on your back. It's also best to have a pillow underneath your knees, which will take off the strain on your lower back. Okay, as well as have 2 pillows underneath your hands, so you're kind of prepped up, right? On top of that, you can choose to have a pillow underneath your neck if you want. It could be an orthopedic pillow, which I'd actually recommend because it tends to lift the base of the skull up a little bit, as opposed to having it like this if you use a usual pillow, you know? So an orthopedic pillow. Otherwise, if you don't have one, just get a normal pillow and kind of crunch it up underneath your neck so that you're really comfortable. After about 5 minutes of lying there, then I would get in touch with the situation at hand if I were you. And when you feel like you're ready to state the prayer, say this: Spirit guides, I'm stuck. I'm at the absolute bottom and I need your help. I'm open to receiving. Please, I surrender. When you say that, it'll be so genuine, and you can paraphrase if you want. What's important here is the setup and when you do it, okay? And where it's coming from. You will feel like it was heard. You'll feel like something on the other end listened to you. And during that night, especially if you fall asleep straight away, during that night, within the witching hour, you'll have received communication. Don't worry about when it's going to happen. Just lie there. And as you fall asleep, it will enter either into your dreams and speak to you, if you're lucky, deliberately, right? So you'll see it. It just won't quite fit in the dream. Or, if you're really lucky, it'll activate your chakra system, mainly your crown chakra, as well as the portals in your head, in order to initiate lines of communication, you know? You'll more than likely end up hearing it in your head, like someone's got a speaker to your ear and they're speaking straight. You feel the vibrations carry throughout your skull. It's weird, visuals included. Okay, and whilst this is happening, the crown has to open up. It's like there's a massive channel up there. And it'll often feel like thorns prickling the scalp of your head. Or perhaps, I often say maggots or flies underneath the surface of your scalp. And although that's grotesque and weird to imagine, it somewhat feels tingly and enjoyable. So don't worry about it, you know. And if not dreams, if not through your crown chakra bursting open, it could very well just be through the astral plane. It could show up and take you out of body. Either take you on a crazy adventure, showing you your future and how everything's going to pan out, or they'll just speak to you and let you know everything that you need to know.